Hey everyone, welcome to Running Retro. So today we are going to be going through a battery replacement mod for the GBA games. And I'm going to do this in two ways. I'm going to do it with a desoldering gun, and I'm going to do it with solder wick, if necessary. A lot of these I find it pretty easy to do just as they are, without any real issues. So not needing anything except for a little wick just to clean the pads. So without any further ado, we're gonna get going here. We'll start with Pokemon Emerald. The one thing you need to know is this has a weird little triangle tip, and I actually use one of two things. I use iFixit Kit's basic thing. It's about $30. Or you can get one of these Vastars right here off of Amazon for about $10. Both of them work just fine. I like iFixit because I think it has a slightly better magnet in the in the head, and I think it works just a little bit better. It's a little more pleasing to the hand. It's a little more solid. So, but it doesn't matter. So you take the screw out from here. Slide the top down, lift it off. It's a little stubborn. And there you go. There you have your board and your dead battery. Just flip it over, tap it, and the board will come right out. To remove the battery, make sure that you're keeping track of which side is which. So up here, this is the lead going on to the top. Down here, this is the lead going on to the bottom. So this is your positive lead, this is your negative lead. Just make sure that you are keeping track of which is which. And it is actually labeled on the battery too. So now we're going to just apply a little heat to the solder. And I'm using my fingernail to apply a little bit of pressure. And this lead will just pop off. There we go. Don't apply too much pressure. You're just a steady, just like you're pressing on a surface. Just very gently, like your finger is laying on the surface. You don't want to pull the pad up. You just want to gently touch the battery and apply a very small amount of vertical pressure, and that'll take the battery right off. Now we have our clean pad, or we have our bare pads. We're going to add a little bit of flux to each pad. Take some solder wick. And just clean these pads. Now, to make sure that I don't solder the wick to the pad and that I don't tear up a pad, I'm not moving my iron at all. I'm only moving the wick. And that way I know if the wick is moving freely that I'm not applying any pressure to the pad. It didn't get it all clean, so we will go in again. We'll get the other side. Let's get a little bit of fresh wick. Don't worry about using a lot of wick. It's better to use a lot of wick than not use enough. Still got a little bit on there. Okay, that's better. Well, we've got a nice, clean, clear, solder-free pad. I'm going to flux each pad again. And to get my solder, I use a 6040 rosin core silver lead. And I'm going to rebuild my pad. Clean my tip a little bit first though. There we go. Now, this is the original GBA battery. You can get them. I get almost all of my batteries from Console 5. I like the guys. I think they have good prices. But for this, I do like these to last a little bit longer. And I use CR1616s. So, if you go on to Console 5's website and you just type in GBA battery, there will be two types. There's one with a lead on both sides like this, and there's one with a two-prong lead on one side. That's for things like, I think I saw it in the Game Boy Color Link's Awakening. So just be careful when you're looking at that you're getting the batteries that you need or the type that you need. I ordered these in bulk, and they will fit in here. So even though they're a little bit larger, they do fit in. The only thing you need to be aware of is you need to solder them towards the top of the pad so that the top shielding goes on, because these grooves will catch the battery, and you basically need the battery to be all the way at the top. Now, these batteries last a little bit longer than these batteries too, and I hate replacing GBA batteries. So that's just one of those things that it just makes sense. It's just a quality of life thing that I prefer to use CR1616s. They're a little bit more finicky, so if you're concerned about doing this, then I would just, purchase the GBA batteries. So I'll line it up here, and you can see I am just at the top, but I'm not touching any of the hardware underneath, so none of the circuitry, so I'm not going to create a short, and I'm being careful to do that. And I applied a little bit of flux at the bottom of the battery, and now we're just going to get this solder to melt and this lead to drop down. There we go. And let it fully harden so that you have it tacked in place a little bit. I like to flip it around because I'm right-handed. Double check, make sure I'm not touching any components. There we go. And then I'll come back in and I will touch that up. Move it a little bit. There we go. I'll take it, look at it at the side, make sure that it is still touching. It is. We have good connection. And do the same on the other side. As you can see, that didn't even take the desoldering station or wick. We were just able to lift it off. Drop it back in. This could be a little finicky to get back on. So just drop it on and push it up, just like that. Flip that sucker over, make sure that it's all lined up. And this is the part that may be a little finicky because, as I said, this battery is a little bit large. So if it doesn't quite fit, as this one is, I got it pretty close, but you can just get in here, lift it a little bit, and just shift it up a little bit. Make sure that you're not shorting it to something. I'm not. And I'll do the same on the other side. It doesn't take much at all. So, like, that was just the smallest amount, but there we go. There we go. Alright. We're good to go. No pressure on the screw. Screwed in easily. No separation at the top. Now you have a modded, or you have a battery swapped Pokemon Emerald in this case. So that's it, guys. Actually, since there's really, you don't need to use a desoldering gun, and you don't need to use wick for removing the battery, which is really the only hard part. The only thing you have to do is take these CR16 1616, if you use these, and snip these little leads short. That's all you need to do. Or you can purchase these. These will be easier to put in, obviously. But as I said, this will give you a little bit more life to your system, and these will or life to your cartridge. These get used up a little bit faster. They're just easier to actually put in the cart. So if you guys have any questions, I'm not going to do the Pokemon Ruby because we don't really need to. That should illustrate any problems that you have and address them. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Hope you enjoyed this video, and we will see you soon.